little technical difficulty there. Just kind of cut out. Hey everybody. I'm K-Cee Diva. Welcome to another edition of Dish with Diva. So glad to be back doing this live. It took some time off, and you know how it goes. Sometimes you just gotta take a break. It's just life and other things get in the way, and but I'm very excited to be back. Working with some new technology today, so forgive any bloopers that could possibly happen, like the one that just happened. Anyway, I'm very excited to be back, and I'm very excited because I'm trying something a little different than what you're used to seeing. Usually we have guests, and they talk about entertainment and all sorts of things. We still do that show, Northwest Nightcap, which is once a month, every first Thursday, with the crew. But today, we are talking about self care for women. And I'm dedicating today's show in particular to Gen X women because I feel like, there's not a lot out there for us. I feel like these other generations have their conversations and things going on. And I honestly kind of feel sometimes, as I was telling my guest before we went live, that, our generation kind of got swept with the current. All this stuff is happening and we just kind of went with it. But we haven't really had a voice. So we're going to talk about self-care today because that's a huge topic. And I have two good friends and experts in the field. First, you've seen her before on Northwest Nightcap. You've seen us doing Dynamic Duo. Princess Robin, host of Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars. Hello, Princess. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Diva, thanks for bringing me.
And Kimmy Lee King. Let me get it right. Kimmy Lee King, also very good friend. Worked with her in the wellness field. She is the CEO and founder of Roots Royal Solutions. Thank you, Kimmy, for joining me tonight.
I made it on the show finally. Thank you for having me. I made it.
Kicking and screaming, but I got you here. All right. Well, I'm excited to talk to you ladies tonight. Because self-care has become a huge issue, especially after we've made it through the pandemic. There's a lot of talks around things like burnout, with work. A lot of folks are back in the office, who are telecommuting, having to rearrange schedules, with kids and daycare and school and all the things, that can stress us out on a day-to-day basis. So I want to talk about some self-care because both of you I know are real big on that and wellness for women and practice some self-care, things yourself that I think would be helpful for those who might need to know where do I even start or how do I even do this. So the first question I will ask to both of you is how would you define self-care? When you think about self-care as a definition, how would you define it? Kimmy, I'll start with you.
That's a great question. And I think it's up to the individual, right? And you see some of the studies around that. Some people, they think self-care, they think spa day. The reality is that's not a reality for everyone to be able to go do a spa day. You can't do a manicure. If I'm running around working full time, I got kids, I got to get them to where they're going. Self-care, that's not financially even, that may not be self-care for me. So I think that it's really up to the individual, but I think it's what makes you feel good. Like what, and it might just be from moment to moment of what can I do right now that will make me just feel good about something. Maybe it's painting my nails at home. Maybe that's all I can do. Maybe it's just getting one moment of quietness and carving out that time and saying, I'm not going to feel guilty for this next 10 minutes, whatever it might be, to do whatever it is. But I think it really is up to the person and in that moment, the whatever moment they have, what's going to make them feel good. Some people, it might be paying bills, honestly. Like I've heard people say, I felt so good that I sat down and got through my list of bills that need to get paid.
Yes, for sure. Princess, what about you? What are your thoughts on how would you describe what self-care means?
I'm very much in agreement with what Kimmy said, but I think I would add that it is paying attention to your own needs and understanding them and giving yourself permission to respond and take care of what you've identified as your needs. Because I think, especially you talk about our generations. I mean, we are in a space where, we're caregivers to a lot of people. We're, employees. We, have friend groups. We have a lot of things going on in our lives. And we some often feel guilty saying, I need a moment.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to give right now. I need to take care of myself. And as Kimmy said, that could look very different for different people. But understanding that you do need to listen to that voice.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like what both of you all said, because I think it really is individually based, and how we define that and what feels good. So I know that both of you, have your self-care rituals, if you will. Robin, I know you practice like meditation. We've talked about that. You got me going with that. What are some ways that you take time out for yourself each day?
Well, so meditation is a big one for me, and you and I have talked about this because I think the biggest benefit I get from meditation, aside from it being, a nice, peaceful, quiet time for me to to kind of be with myself and just kind of reflect and be compassionate towards myself. I also really value the skill I have sharpened in being mindful practices from moment to moment. And, the more I meditate, the more natural mindfulness comes to me. And that's, I think Kimmy did say this, being in the moment. What do I need right now? What's happening right now? Because much anxiety comes from looking at the past, things you can't change, or trying to project into the future. I'm not saying don't, have a plan, but those are things that you really can't control. What you can control, though, is this moment. And that brings me great peace. Sometimes it means I'm just, breathing deeply. Sometimes, it means I'm able to focus on one thing at a time. And then I feel, great about my accomplishment because I actually got something done. Sometimes it means I'm in nature and listening to the sounds and breathing the air and just taking in my surroundings. But mindfulness has really been a game changer for me.
That's awesome. And for me as well. When I actually carry it through, that's the other thing, right? Is making that time.
It's a practice.
Yes,
it's like working out.
Exactly. Kimmy, what about you? What are some of your self-care rituals?
That's a great question. I'm a little all over the place, not gonna lie. I'm such a moment-to-moment person because there's no telling what's gonna happen in any given day. My ideal like self-care is getting away on a beach and surfing. Like that is I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's not reality. So what is my other go-to? I agree with what Princess is saying. It's that moment of of quieting myself. When my kids were younger, it was I'm going to get up earlier, even if it's 10 minutes earlier, to just have that moment of quietness before I start my day, because that really set the tone for my entire day to get those little moments. I don't know. Other days it could be. If I can go get a manicure, pedicure, I will absolutely do that. If I can go get a facial, I had a massage recently, and I'm like, I don't know how many years it's been since I'd had a massage. I'm like, I really need to do this more often. But I agree that probably that mindfulness and meditation is one of the most like valuable day to day throughout the day practices that people could get in the habit of. And like Princess said, it might only be a couple minutes, but just pausing, recognizing and pausing and breathing in a moment, breath can do amazing things to stress levels. And so I think breathe, the mindfulness.
No, and I like that because like we were saying earlier, it's different for everybody, right? Maybe you're not someone that does it the same time every day, and some people might do it at the same time every day. So wherever you can fit it in. And I'm that person that wherever I can fit it in. Sometimes it's when I first wake up. Sometimes I do a bunch of other stuff and I'm feeling a little scattered and I'm like, oh wait, I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to, light my candle, chill. Anthony, hey Anthony. Thanks for watching. So Anthony, another member of the Nightcap crew, he says driving by the water is good for self-care. Yes, I love, love, love the water. During the summer, going and just sitting at the beach, love it. As well as lighting a Zen candle. I can't afford it.
Anthony, you're wrong for that.
Anthony.
I love it.
You gonna work out that. It's whatever you got. It's whatever you work with what you got.
So we Anthony and I recently went to join K-Cee and Robin in person to go see New Edition and Keith Sweat and a whole lineup of folks. And we found out Keith Sweat has this whole line of candles, these Zen candles. And Anthony's like, hey, let me look it up. He's like, $75 for one candle.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Does it come with the recording of
right?
Like, does he come down and all oiled up? And
Exactly. I'm like, no. Okay, so the other thing, you both are mothers, and so I want to speak to our mothers out there. You kind of mentioned earlier, Kimmy, like, you used to get up a little early when the kids were small to kind of have your self time. How do you, as a mother, as a working mother, at that, or not, maybe, you stay home, take care of the household while, spouse is out to work. How do you find those moments of time? Because there's not a lot when you're taking care of a household and children and school schedules and soccer, and even when they get older, kids they still need mom, and all sorts of things that come up. Robin, I'll start with you. What are some ways that have helped you find moments for yourself?
Yeah, that's a really good question because there's nothing like being a mom and you feel like you have to give your whole self over to the people who are depending on you. And, I'll be fully transparent. I have, not social anxiety disorder. And, I was having panic attacks and, losing weight and just being very anxious. And it kind of occurred to me that state of being would scare my kids, like what's going on. And so I came to the realization that, I'm not doing any favors to anybody, just, giving till I'm totally out of gas. And I would be honest with my kids, and obviously, they have to be at a certain age where they can understand, okay, mommy needs 15 minutes. I remember when I very first started meditating. And, my kids got it. They understood. They're like, okay, mom, yeah, go do your meditation. I'll wait. I'll be back in 20 minutes or whatever. But I think being honest about, hey, I have some things I need to do to take care of me too, and that makes me be better for you when we are, in each other's presence. But yeah, I had to kind of bump against the brick wall before I gave myself permission to do that. But and what I love is now I can see as they're older, that was affirming for them, about picking up some of those practices. My sons, one of them does meditate, and our blended family, others have started picking up on it too, and it's a good tool. So share it.
I like that. Same question for you, Kimmy, and adding on to that, kind of like how, Robin just mentioned, how do you, say to kids, spouse, whoever, hey, a timeout, essentially creating those boundaries, right? Because I think sometimes we're afraid to speak up. We're afraid we don't want to offend someone, kids may not understand. So yeah, what are the ways that, that you, I know your kids are older now too, but that kind of helped you, and how do you create those boundaries?
Yeah, I love, Princess, what you said about, I think a lot of it is being transparent, and it is an example because your kids are watching you, and to be able to say, you know what, I need a timeout right now. I need to take a break right now. I remember telling my kids, like, you go take a timeout because you need a moment alone. Like, we all need a timeout, right? Like, we all just need to just catch our breath right now. When my daughter, when she was 16, it's a fun age anyways. I have a teenage daughter, but I just remember she was like, I don't really like what you're saying right now. I'm like, I don't like what you're saying right now. How about you just go your way? I'll go my way. We'll come back when we're ready to talk about this, right? Like, but it's very real of like, and now she's off at college and she's telling me about these moments where she has gone and like taken time to herself to journal and meditate. So I'm like, okay, something worked in all of that, right? And to Princess's point there, but I think it's that and sometimes you're in a place where you go, I don't even want to talk to you right now. So I am going to go lock myself in the bathroom and take a little bit of extra time, and I might fall apart in the bathroom, and then I'll come back when I'm ready, as long as everyone's safe. But I think that not even just as moms, but something, Princess, you said in your opening, I can't remember what it was, made me think of even the sandwich generation of where we are, of taking care of our parents, our aging parents, and we might have kids and families. And as women, we are just natural nurturers too. And we want to take care of people. So it's, I think, recognizing like, wait a minute, I need a moment to myself. And it could be telling everyone like, hey, I'm taking a time out, or I am going to go. You know, you see those videos, women's locking themselves in pantries, eating candy. Or they're like,
that's real.
Yes.
That's real.
And it's okay. It's okay to do that. I think we have to give ourselves grace in that of like, look, for everyone's well-being, I need this moment. So
yes, absolutely. Both great points from both of you. And along those lines, you know, as I mentioned earlier, Kimmy and I used to work in the wellness space together. I know Robin and I have had these conversations too about the workplace, you know, so we talk about like kids, but in the workplace as well, right? You know, I mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, with COVID and then after COVID and even going into now 2023, burnout is a real thing, and it's kind of affecting people in different ways, and we're seeing it in different ways. And I feel as though and I'm sure you'll agree with me, you know, especially as women and women of color, that looks a little different for us navigating those waters too, which added another added layer of stress in the workplace. So, you know, what are some ways along the lines of creating boundaries and, you know, in that space, how do we navigate that? You know, how do we say to a coworker or a boss, you know, hey, I need some time. I need to take a walk. I've got this whole list of things I need to prioritize. You know, some people really struggle with having that conversation. Kimmy, I'll start with you.
My mind went like 10 different places as soon as you said that. And I'm filtering a lot right now. Okay. I'll start with, I find often in the workplace that I become Mama K. I become Mama K because people just want to just come and talk about their lives and just talk nonstop about their lives. And I got the list of things to do, but they want to tell me about making their lunch. I don't know what it is, but you know, but it's, and so how do you have those boundaries of like, I really want to listen to you. I need to get my work done. That was one place my head went.
Yeah.
Of just knowing, you know, how to graciously have those boundaries of like, can we talk about this another time? Or, you know, I really want to hear what you have to say, but can we talk, you know, making sure everything's okay, but can we do this another time? I think when you brought up the being women and women of color in setting those boundaries and how that can be perceived in the workplace and how you can come off if you're saying, look, I don't have time for this right now, or, and you and I have so many examples and that I cannot get into, but there, you know, it's a challenge. I don't think we should ask for forgiveness in that space. It's who we are. It's what needs to be done. I don't have a good answer to that one right now without saying too much.
And I think that speaking up, I think we're at a time now where, you know, and I've seen this, you know, even, you know, I've seen a slight shift, and I'm more of, I want to say, an openness in the workplace where people are having these conversations and, being okay with saying, hey, look, I'd love to, help you on that, but I've got 5 other things, can we talk later on? Can we, because, and like I said, I go back to COVID because I think we were so burnt out during those, almost 3 years, or I guess out of it, knock on wood, and so now we're having to re-navigate, being back in the office, dealing with people, being on the road, out and about. It's a lot. And I think people are just at their kind of wits end where they're not afraid to say, you know what, hey, I need a moment. So, Princess, what about you? What are your thoughts on that?
I also have a ton of thoughts, and it's easy for me to talk because I do work from home 100%, because I'm in a different state than my office, and I'm fortunate because I've been able to do work that is reflective of me as a Black woman doing DEI work, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But I will say this, two observations, because I have been in the office and I have had those problems setting boundaries. Again, the brick wall is a good place to decide, hey, I'm going to make some changes. But that's real, that you do have to be honest and transparent. And I think our generation, I think it's generational. Now it's more accepted. The younger generation is a lot more direct about saying what they need and setting their boundaries, which I think is healthy. But it's odd to us because that's not who we were. That's not that wasn't our way. But at the same time, I think that it's become more socially accepted. And it's necessary. I think that is good self-care. Good for you saying what you need or what you can't do. I remember being really anxious as a kid and just, like being a pleaser. And I look at my kids and my nephew and, they'll say things like, I just want to be alone right now, or, like, I don't want to give you a kiss right now. And, my mom, the other generation, no, don't do that. Don't say that. And I'm like, I wish I knew how to do that when I was their age. I think that's healthy, setting boundaries. So, because you have to.
Yeah. For sure. And that's when you bring up that generation piece, again, which is why I want to have this conversation, the three of us being Gen Xers, we were brought up with this kind of a different, I guess, work ethic, not to down the current work ethic, but we were just taught differently, and we weren't able to be as vocal. So I think there is some good things that have come out of that, although
and some lots of
Kimmy and I have had several conversations when we worked in the past about the difference in generations and how they do things, and how we do things, and so that's a whole nother conversation. We'll have to have that conversation too. Okay, we're just about out of time. I was just perusing online earlier this week, and when I wanted to have this conversation about our generation and women and self-care, this article popped up from Huffington Post, and they had a list of 15 things women in midlife should have on hand. So I wanted to read
like that. That hurt a little bit, K-Cee.
Even saying it was like,
I think you're the youngest one on here, Kimmy.
I know.
You're the youngest one.
Sorry.
It stung a little bit. I had to practice that one in the mirror for a few times.
Embrace it. Embrace it.
I'm trying, Princess. I'm on the fence. Okay, I need to be pushed over. Okay, I'm not going to do all 15 for time's sake, but there's a few that stuck out that I thought were kind of fun. So I'm going to read these to you, and I'll have each of you just tell me, yay or nay, if it's something that you have. So okay. So every woman midlife should have makeup you weren't wearing 10 years ago. Kimmy?
I'm good on that, I think. I think I toss it. Eye makeup for sure.
Right.
Yeah, gotta protect the eyeballs.
Gotta protect the eyes. Princess?
Probably. You know, there's some stuff in there that probably I know.
Yeah,
especially after COVID when you don't make your face all the time.
Right. Exactly. A journal.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Sexy shoes.
Oh yeah.
But I probably don't wear them anymore.
Yeah, they are super sexy in the closet.
You both, you guys, your shoe game is on point. I've seen your shoes. A nice set of luggage.
Yes, I'm packing my luggage right now for the trip we're taking in the morning. I just cracked it open for the first time.
On.
Working on that one.
Working on that one.
Yeah, working on it.
A pencil skirt.
Yep.
No, I don't think so. You know,
No?
I don't wear those. I don't know. Not if I don't have to.
I don't have. You know, when you got a lot of curves, I'll put it that way. Pencil skirts aren't always the best thing. I'm just saying they kind of hug places you don't want. So I'm no on that one. It says some professional photos that make you look both lovely and professional.
Lovely.
Sort of.
I have one good headshot.
Yeah.
I'll post that everywhere I can.
The pictures you both sent me were perfect for the promo. You both looked both lovely and professional. A really nice clutch bag. You know, I have a few clutches, but I don't carry them unless I'm going out, I guess.
Yeah. I have one, but I don't think clutch bags, you know, are girthy enough for me.
Right.
So that's what I need. I need to downsize, but
yeah,
you can't get in that little thing. You know?
All right, a nice pair of leggings.
Yes.
A nice pair? Oh, leggings or leggings? I don't know.
I know. I saw it. I was like, wait, a nice pair? Because, you know, I wear mine all the time, so they get worn pretty quickly.
Yeah, I go for the Costco 2-pack. You get 2.
Costco is your friend.
Costco is your friend. A good push-up bra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I mean, I need all the padding. I need everything, all the help I can get.
I know Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret. All right. Last but not least, at least one amazing recipe that you can hand down to your kids or grandkids.
Kind of. I think I don't know. It's amazing, but I think what makes it amazing is like it's the cultural component that makes it amazing to know that it's been handed down from grandma, great grandma that my kids have learned to make. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you ladies for playing. That was a lot of fun. So we're almost out of time. I told you it was going to go quickly. I want to say thank you to both my guests for joining me. This is a great discussion on self-care, and we're going to have you both back for some other topics down the road because it's all about us. It's all about Gen X. I'm going to make sure that our voice is heard. Okay, because we got a lot to say on a lot of different things. Kimmy, how can people get in touch, find out more about Roots Royal, get in touch with you, social media, anything like that?
I'm not super active on social media, but Kimmy Lee King, I'm there. There's a Roots Royal. Instagram probably is the best way. Either Kimmy Lee King or Roots Royal Solutions. Mm-hmm.
Right on. And Princess Robin, where can they contact you, and where can we hear all about Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars and all the relationship advice?
To Venus and Mars with Princess Robin is on 8 major podcast platforms, including Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts. Go have a listen. I do also have a Facebook page, but like Kimmy, I'm not on there too much. But listen to the shows; you won't be disappointed.
You won't be disappointed. Trust me. It's a lot. All the topics you can think of when it comes to relationships, Princess has covered.
Over 100-something episodes in there. I forget.
Yes.
115, 120.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right. And you know where to reach me. Facebook, K-Cee Diva page, or Dish with Diva, Northwest Nightcap. Be sure to catch that every first Thursday of the month. All about entertainment. Myself, Princess Robin, Anthony Adams, Kurt Clayton. And I'm on IG, MZ, K-Cee Diva. K-Cee Diva shows on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. And this has been fun. We'll see you guys next time. And we're going to have these ladies back for another juicy topic. So with that, I'm going to try this whole music outro again. So let's see what happens.
We live from the Emerald City. It's a Dish with Deeva show. Here she is, the one and only K-Cee Diva.
Okay, so the intro works. Let's try the outro.